Hi everyone, it's Kasia from Tarot Map, and I thought I'm going to just share something that is quite private. I usually don't do it, I don't share these things that often, it happens of course, but not often. And I don't think I've ever shared this little ritual that I do with the weavers. So I usually pick a weaver for the year. Since 2 years, I think. So this solstice 2020, I picked Nomad, Udegan of the Fish Girdle, and she was the weaver for 2021, yes, for this year, till winter solstice, which is tomorrow. That's why I wanted to create a little ritual of saying goodbye to Nomad. And she rides the sled that turns season, and as you can see from the name, obviously Nomad leads a nomadic life. She travels, and I have spent a lot of time traveling this year, to the point of actually realizing that it's too much even for me, a Sagittarian girl, and I lost touch with roots, and my base chakra got out of sync, and I was sick for a while. So it was interesting to also take a look at the chakra checkup, which I did. And my base chakra, I pulled Chariot for this year. So with Nomad and the base chakra with Chariot, there is a little bit of movement that already came in, this energy of movement came in for 2021. And with Chariot, there's a skill of keeping the balance and being able to hold the balance to move forward. And I have overdid it or overdone it in some way, or lost the balance in a couple of places, which is okay, but yeah, as I said, my base chakra wasn't as happy with all this movement. So I just wanted to share what she teaches, because if you have this oracle, you know that the book is very poetic, and that the book, sometimes you read it and you're like, what? What did she say? What is it about? And what lesson am I actually learning? And I realized that pulling a Nomad, one of the weavers, once a year is actually fairly amazing for me. If I feel the need, of course I can pull a weaver for whatever month I feel like I need their support or help. But it's interesting to see that it works for me yearly, and it's quite spooky. Like the last year's sand was incredible for the ancestral work that I used to do. And my friend Maxine, she inspired me to create this ancestral, Melissa Lucia from Deep Plate Divination inspired me to create the sleeping ancestral house, but this was from my visions and meditation. So yeah, it was just incredible, and sand basically looked like that vision from that I had about my ancient ancestors. So it was fairly moving for me. And now with Nomad, it also fits, when I look back at the year, it fits, and her lessons are quite interesting. So it's a lot about traveling. Salmon as an ally, and we know that salmons always swim up the stream. So sometimes the journey, as I experienced it, even though they exciting and great, in some ways they also feel tiring, and challenging. Nomad speaks a lot about freedom. Salmon pouch is a vessel that for holding secret tears, quiet prayers, dreaming and desires. And I did share a lot of private tears and quiet prayers. It was a very strange year. It was a quite tough year, even though, on many levels and on many layers, it was a good year too. Fish Girdle is for protection, so she was a protectress over the year, and a reminder to traveling woman that her timing is perfect. And I think sometimes maybe, I've got Saturn on ascendant coming from the 12th house, so I'm quite like the harshest critic of myself. So I think, just releasing this for the next year, really. I wrote here that to catch up with Nomad, one needs to leap with great risk to both our limbs and pride onto her passing sled. So she's not the easy teacher, she's the fierce love. She just does her thing, and if you want to join up, you have better faith and speed to jump onto the sled. She teaches us of freedom and of life lived outside the boundaries of the world. I did feel like I crossed a couple of boundaries starting in 2020 when, you know, there was no travels, but I was traveling, and I felt like my freedom was enhanced by actually spending time away from my country in that time there. But then it just became too much of a good thing. It's of course always a weird thing. And her insights have the power to propel, exhilarate and surprise us beyond our ancient dreams. A lot of things have come together this year, especially at the end of the year. I feel like the energy shifted for me. But wait, man, I was struggling this year, personally. We learned that freedom runs alongside as we ride the sled, and it is unlimited to wild, curious souls. We feel that we may expand endlessly to feed the land through which we travel, for way out beyond the edge of things, there is nothing to hold our weightless flight. I just love this. This is so poetic and beautiful. Teaching of sled dogs. So obviously her sled is led by dogs. Hard nodules of feral nitty-gritty that stun us into embracing freedom right down. At least we know that in our nomadic souls, each one of us is both the changer and the changed. I love this because I think, you know, as much as I could, I influenced my life, right? I co-created, but it's life. Life fucking happens, and when it happens, it's really up to us to respond, not react. With strong yearning to shape-shift our journey. That's the dog still talking. So you can shape-shift during the journey, and you can shape-shift the journey with pressing desire to follow hidden rivers to the wide open seas. So that was the lesson from Nomad in 2021, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create a little altar for her, and I'm going to light a little candle for her as well. I have this tiny little candle holder, which of course I didn't pull, but I will now. Okay. And I'm just thinking that I would like to put just a couple of items for her. So what I'm going to do, this is my little ancestral stone, which often, it came from Australia, I found it myself. It often connects me to like this ancient ancestors. This is the petrified wood that also connects me to my ancestral lineage. This is the wand of transformation that I created, and it's with, I don't know, I just called it a wise one because it reminds me there's this huge eye, and you know, there's this amazing branch and this wonderful smoky quartz, just so sparkling and stunning, and a little seaweed shaker. This is made by Jessica from the Story Medicine. It was sent to me by Natalia as a gift, so I treasure it and connect it lovely. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to thank her in my mind's eye, you know, and release her from her volunteering to be my guide for this year. So thank you, Nomad. She very much reminds me of my great-grandmother, her face. My great-grandmother was called Marcella. She had a great sense of humor. Simple woman of earth and land. So I'm sending through Nomad also prayers for my great-great-mother and my grandmother and all the great-grandmothers that go way back beyond any generations that I know. And I thank her for the power that she gave me and also for the challenges that came with a nomadic lifestyle, for this comfortable city bum that I may be turned into, who knows. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to light this candle, but not of that candle, because this is a candle that I'm releasing. Well, actually, I could do that, yeah, because I'm releasing you, Nomad, as well, and thank you. I wanted to say thank you for your service. Thank you for being my guide. So this beautiful little wax candle will just burn for Nomad, and I'm going to pull one card from her as a last message, like a gift, a message. I'm just wondering what deck I want to use. Why don't I use the deck that has just arrived in the new version? So I'm going to use the Dead Gems. I just want one little message because I already received all I needed from Nomad, but let's just pull one card for this one last message that she has to give me, and energetically just unwind her. Thank you, Nomad. Wild Stream Orchid. When I see wild, this goes with Nomad. It's very very Nomad energy. She's wild and free, and as I said, if you want to get onto her sled, you better jump. She's not going to stop for you. So 28 is the number of Wild Stream Orchid. It's the comedian. Oh, she's enjoying herself, and I think she's telling me to like chill the fuck out. Wild Stream Orchid will make you giggle and giggle and giggle. Are you still giggling? Small, unshowy orchid flowers smelling of burnt rubber in the roots. The little clown of Wild Stream Orchid is a powerful laughing medicine. Oh, this is something that I kind of didn't expect of her. So I love it. And actually it fits because she was more on the fierce love side. So I didn't quite experience a lot of her sense of humor. I think she wanted to remind me that maybe I took her a touch of too serious. Orchid is a powerful laughing medicine, and especially for those who tell themselves that they do not deserve to be happy and who cannot find themselves outside of space of their trauma. Wild Stream Orchid pulls us a chair for giddiness and buoyancy for those in the darkest room of themselves. When you need to be reminded that there are hidden aspects of yourself still alive under a heavy surface, Wild Stream Orchid is here. When you feel you cannot find the space of joy, invite this ally into your life. She can tap into our master control center, the pituitary gland, rewiring the circuit to delight that may have frazzled or frayed. So there is powers of creativity, intuition, clairvoyance, and empathetic abilities, and I think she was a great helper in all of those actually. The pituitary is responsible for secreting oxytocin, the chemical most related to the feelings of love. She can bring you back to the knowledge that there is an ocean, a tide, a current of love that is always around us, holding us, washing through us, laughing so hard it hurts. If you have deep-seated trauma, especially of a sexual nature, if you do not feel safe in yourself and do not trust your own body or intuition to not betray you, you are not alone. Wild Stream Orchid is here with you. This plant can access our greatest hurts miraculously in the boat of a smile, jumping off on your shore with a little somersault and a bow. So that's a beautiful message, and I think it yeah, teaches me to actually yeah, appreciate her sense of humor. And for some reason, when I look at those stars, it's again the connection to Nut. And I'm just waiting for some amazing gift and something that I bought from Hetien, from the Black Madonna deck. And I purchased this star altar from her, which also has a Nut connection for me. And it just has such a beautiful write-up in the book, so maybe I share it at some point. But for today, I'm going to end with this, and the last thing I'm going to do is to use this beautiful holy oil from my friend Ella, which she sent me for my birthday, and just put it onto the weaver and thank her. And I'm just going to leave her here. She's got a special stand. I wanted to slow her down sometimes, so I just used this little turtle case, our turtle, what is a turtle house that we found ourselves in Croatia, actually next to our house. And I'm just going to put her here and leave the candle for her. She's smeared with oil. I will write down the message. And thank you for joining me for this little ritual. I hope it was inspiring. And I have sent out my first ever newsletter, so if you haven't received it but you would like to, just head over to my website. There's a sign up form. You can just add your email and I will send it out. There are some gifts and some discounts for the readings, so I invite you to join in. Bye everyone.